Maturity has nothing to do with the candles on your birthday cake. It isn't about how many years you've walked this earth, but how you've chosen to walk them. Some people grow old without ever growing up. They carry the weight of time, but never the wisdom that should come with it. That's because maturity is not gifted by age. It's earned through mindset. Maturity is responsibility. It's the willingness to take ownership of your thoughts, your actions, and your future. While many wait for life to change, the mature person realizes that change starts from within. They stop blaming their parents, their past, or their circumstances. They rise not because they've lived longer, but because they've decided to grow deeper. It's about growth. Real maturity means you seek improvement over comfort. You choose books over excuses, discipline over distractions, and progress over perfection. You aren't defined by what you've been through, but by what you've built from it. Vision is another mark. A mature mind looks ahead with purpose. It doesn't just survive the moment. It plans, it prepares, it moves with intent. Vision gives your life direction, and direction is the soul of maturity. Napoleon Hill once said, "Man's only limitation lies in his development of self." That means the only thing standing between who you are and who you could be is the choice to grow, not the years, not your age, not the world, just you. If you want to be truly mature, don't wait for life to give it to you. Decide to live deliberately. Decide to grow today. Napoleon Hill taught that success begins the moment you make a clear, unwavering decision. He called it definiteness of decision, the ability to know what you want and move toward it with conviction. That single trait is often a dividing line between those who drift through life and those who direct it. Maturity isn't just about thinking deeply. It's about deciding confidently. Many people grow older, but they remain stuck in indecision, constantly second-guessing themselves, paralyzed by fear of failure or judgment. On the other hand, some of the world's most impactful leaders made life-changing decisions while they were still young, not because they knew everything, but because they knew what they wanted. Think of Malala Yousafzai, who stood up for education in the face of danger, or Steve Jobs, who decided in his 20s that he would reshape technology. Their choices weren't random. They were rooted in clarity, purpose, and maturity far beyond their years. A mature person doesn't wait for permission. They don't need the perfect conditions. They understand that making a firm choice and sticking to it is what shapes reality. Life doesn't hand you clarity. You create it through your decisions. Hill knew this truth. When you are clear about what you want, the universe begins to respond. Opportunities align. People appear. Energy rises. But it all starts with that one firm, mature decision. Decide who you are. Decide what you want. And then, with all your might, act on it. Real maturity begins the moment you stop letting your emotions run your life. Self-mastery, being able to feel deeply but still choose wisely, is one of the clearest signs of true inner strength. And yet, emotional control isn't something that automatically comes with age. You could be 60 and still throw tantrums like you're 6. You could be 25 and carry the calm presence of someone who has conquered storms most people avoid. The difference isn't in years, it's in discipline. Emotional maturity is the ability to pause when you're provoked, to think when it would be easier to react, and to respond with intention rather than impulse. It's not about bottling things up. It's about owning your inner world so fully that outside chaos can't shake your foundation. In high-stakes moments, the mature are the ones who stay grounded. Think of a young athlete in the final seconds of the championship game. Calm under pressure, focused, composed. Or a young entrepreneur in the face of failure, choosing strategy over panic. That's emotional mastery, and it commands more respect than any title or number. Napoleon Hill emphasized that success belongs to those who gain control over self. That includes your thoughts, your fears, and especially your emotions. Anyone can get angry, anxious, or discouraged, but it takes maturity to sit with those emotions without letting them steer your life off course. True power is quiet. It doesn't scream. It doesn't react. It decides. And that's where real emotional maturity lives. Purpose is the compass that maturity holds. Without it, people drift no matter how old they are. Napoleon Hill spoke often about definiteness of purpose as the starting point of all success. It's the ability to know exactly what you want from life and to align everything, your time, your energy, your focus in service of that vision. But here's the truth most people ignore. Age doesn't determine whether you live with purpose. Some young people burn with clarity and direction, while many older people continue to wander, following trends, chasing approval, and never really knowing why they do what they do. Maturity is found in the person who stops asking, "What will they think of me?" and starts asking, "What am I here to do?" That shift from popularity to purpose is where real power lives. It's not easy. Purpose demands sacrifice. It means saying no to the noise, the parties, the distractions, even the praise, if it doesn't serve your mission. It means being misunderstood, sometimes even mocked, for taking a path that's not popular, but deeply meaningful. We've seen young minds like Greta Thunberg face the world with nothing but their message and their mission. We've seen musicians, inventors, writers, and visionaries lock into their purpose before they were old enough to rent a car. And we've seen grown adults still lost in comparison, still chasing validation instead of vision. The mature mind understands that fulfillment doesn't come from likes, followers, or applause. It comes from progress. From waking up knowing what you're building and why. From choosing the long road because it leads to something real. Napoleon Hill knew that when a person moves with purpose, life begins to organize itself around that decision. Resources appear. People align. And most importantly, you become someone you respect. Popularity is fleeting. Purpose is forever. The question isn't how old you are. It's how clear you are. Choose purpose. Choose maturity. Failure isn't the end. It's feedback. It's a universe handing you a lesson wrapped in discomfort. Napoleon Hill said, "Every adversity carries with the seed of an equal or greater benefit. But you only find that seed if you're willing to look for it." Maturity is what allows you to search for growth in the rubble instead of just feeling sorry for yourself. The truth is, young minds often bounce back faster, not because they have some special immunity to pain, but because they haven't built a habit of making failure personal. When someone approaches life with a growth mindset, they see setbacks as steps, not signs to stop. They fail, reflect, adjust, and go again. That's maturity in motion. It has nothing to do with the number of years you've lived and everything to do with the attitude you bring to the table. Many people grow older but never grow better because every failure knocks them down harder than the last. They carry regrets like chains, never realizing those very moments were meant to forge them into something stronger. But the mature, whether they're 18 or 80, ask one key question: what can I learn from this? He'll believe that no failure is permanent unless you choose to quit. And that's the secret. You get to choose what failure means. Will it be the thing that stops you or the thing that teaches you? Maturity is when you stop running from mistakes and start meeting them with curiosity and courage. Failure is part of the process. It's not something to avoid. It's something to absorb, learn from, and grow through. The sooner you realize that, the faster you mature. And the faster you mature, the closer you move to the life you were meant to build. Leadership isn't handed to you. It's taken through action. It's not about waiting until someone calls you a leader. It's about stepping up when others hesitate. Napoleon Hill emphasized personal initiative as one of the key traits of success. And it has nothing to do with age. It has everything to do with willpower. The mature individual doesn't wait to be told what to do. They don't need perfect conditions or outside approval. They see what needs to be done, and they do it. That's leadership. That's initiative. And it often shows up in the most unexpected places, not in the most experienced, but in the most committed. You can be young and lead a room full of people older than you, simply because you chose to act when others stood still. Likewise, you could be older and still hiding behind fear, procrastination, or doubt. Maturity shows itself when you stop waiting for life to push you and start pushing yourself. Taking initiative means taking responsibility. It means owning your results, your effort, your direction. And once you do that, you start to lead not just others, but yourself. That's the foundation of all influence. The truth is, the world follows those who move, not those who talk about it, not those who wait for permission, those who move. Whether you're 16 or 60, maturity is measured in motion. It's in your willingness to begin, to lead, to take initiative, not someday, but now. Who you surround yourself with matters more than how long you've been alive. Napoleon Hill called it the mastermind principle, the idea that when two or more minds come together in harmony, a third, more powerful mind is created. That power doesn't come from age. It comes from the quality of the connection. You could be 20 years old and leap ahead of people twice your age simply because you chose to learn from the right voices. Wisdom isn't just inherited. It's absorbed through conversation, mentorship, and association. If you spend your time with people who challenge you, push you, and inspire you, you'll grow faster than someone who spent decades surrounded by small thinking. Maturity isn't something you wait for. It's something you build brick by brick through your environment. A young person who actively seeks out wisdom, who listens, asks questions, and applies what they learn, can become more grounded and effective than someone older who isolates themselves or refuses to evolve. The mastermind is a reminder you don't have to figure it all out alone. Growth accelerates when you link up with people who elevate your thinking. It's not about age, it's about access and alignment. Self-discipline is maturity in motion. It's the ability to tell yourself no today so you can say yes to something greater tomorrow. Napoleon Hill identified self-discipline as one of the most essential traits for success, and it's never about age. You don't magically get more disciplined as you get older. You become disciplined when you decide your future matters more than your impulses. Think about how much strength it takes to delay gratification, to wake up early when you want to sleep in, to study when others are partying, to save when everyone else is spending. That's power. And that power doesn't belong to any particular age group. It belongs to the focused. Some of the most disciplined, mature people are young individuals who've chosen to sacrifice temporary comfort for long-term growth. And some of the most undisciplined people are older individuals still chasing the next quick fix. Discipline is what separates those who dream from those who do. Hill made it clear, success requires control over self. Without discipline, desire is just noise. But when you add discipline to desire, you create momentum, and momentum builds empires. So don't wait to get older to get serious. Get disciplined now, and maturity will follow. Too young and too late are two of the biggest lies ever told. They're just excuses wrapped in fear, and they stop more dreams than failure ever will. Napoleon Hill taught that belief, deep, burning belief, is what makes anything possible. Not age, not background, not timing. Just belief and the desire to make it real. When people say they're too young, they're usually waiting for permission. When they say they're too old, they're usually looking for a way out. But the truth is, the clock doesn't decide your potential. Your mindset does. History is filled with people who started empires in their teens, and others who found their calling in their 60s. The difference was never age. It was action. Maturity is choosing empowerment over excuses. It's deciding that no matter when you start, what matters is that you start. Hill said that desire backed by faith knows no such word as impossible. So why let age hold you back? Excuses are easy. Belief takes courage. But once you believe, truly believe, the world starts to bend in your favor. Don't let a number keep you from becoming everything you were meant to be. Drop the excuse. Light the fire. Go. Legacy has nothing to do with how long you live. It's about how you use the time you're given. There are people who live 80 years and leave nothing behind but regret. And there are others who, in just a few short decades, shift the world with their vision, courage, and action. It's not about how long you've been here. It's about what you've done while you were. Napoleon Hill reminded us that the greatest limitations in life are the ones we place on ourselves. He said, man's only limitation lies in his development of self. That development, your mindset, your choices, your focus, is what determines the mark you leave on the world. Young people can build legacies when they stop waiting and start creating. When they stop measuring their worth by their age and start measuring it by their impact. Meanwhile, some grow older thinking they have time and waste years in hesitation, doubt, or comfort. Mindset is everything. It tells you that today matters, that every decision either builds your legacy or delays it. Don't wait to grow older to start thinking legacy. Start now. Choose purpose. Choose impact. Because how you live, not how long you live, is what the world will remember. If you found value in these insights inspired by Napoleon Hill, make sure to subscribe for more powerful lessons on mindset, wealth, and personal growth. We share timeless wisdom, practical strategies, and motivational content to help you unlock your full potential. Stay inspired, stay focused, master your mind,